Hello and good evening, it's Roddy again, and I'm gonna be practicing my English again. But for tonight, I'm gonna be talking about this thing here, this particular controller that I've got here, and it's my favorite controller. Well, I say it's my favorite controller because I've had, lots of controllers. Well, not that much, but yeah, many. This controller here is something that I really am thankful for. I truly appreciate this controller for so many reasons. But before I talk about this controller, let me tell you about my experiences as a player. So, the first fighting game that I truly played, the fighting game that I would literally travel for and just find people to play with, was Tekken 3, way back in year 2000. Okay, and I was only 10 years old at the time. And at the time, the only controller that I knew was the PS1 controller. And as a beginner in Tekken, it worked fine. Okay, it worked just fine. No problem at all. I spammed buttons. I played Paul Phoenix and Brian Fury because, high damage and broken moves. But anyway, so I just played Tekken 3 again and again and again because I just enjoyed playing Tekken 3. And then a year later, I saw Tekken Tag for the first time, and I thought, oh, okay, this is cool. This is very similar to Tekken 3, but with more characters. So, but at the time, I already was playing PlayStation 2. And then, of course, that was the first time that I touched and used the PS2 DualShock controller. That was fine, okay? And I just kept playing Tekken Tag, and I enjoyed it a lot, alright? And then a few years later, I played Tekken 5. And for whatever reason, because of academics, economics, I was forced to stop playing Tekken. That hurt. But then, 2 decades later, when I had all the economic resources to buy everything that I needed to play Tekken 3 and Tekken 5 and Tekken Tag again, I bought a laptop, okay? And then my nephew gave me a PS4 DualShock controller, which I enjoyed using anyway. But then I saw people playing on arcade sticks, and I thought it looked cool. But the problem was, I wasn't used to playing with a stick, right? With a joystick. because I had never used an arcade stick before, never at all. I tried playing with an arcade stick twice, and it sucked. I couldn't even do a decent diagonal. So, you can imagine how terrible my gameplay was. But then, I really, really loved the experience of pressing buttons with my, with my middle finger and my index finger and my thumb to a certain degree. Okay, I enjoyed it. Okay, but the problem was, again, I just couldn't use the joystick properly. Okay, so this was the problem. But with this one, there was no problem. I even enjoyed it again. Right, I enjoyed it a lot. So I had a thought experiment. I told myself, what if there existed a controller that had maybe 6 face buttons on the right, all right, and then a D-pad on the left. I had that in my mind, all right, but I thought, who knows, maybe such a controller exists. So I kept searching on the internet until I found this controller. I found this controller, and as soon as I saw it, I thought, I'm gonna buy that one. I'm gonna buy that one. No one's gonna stop me from buying it. All right, and I even bought two Hori Fighting Commander controllers. Okay, this is just one of them. Okay, so I bought 2 Hori Fighting Commander for Nintendo Switch, and this one works well with emulators like DuckStation, PPSSPP, RCPS3, and even MAME. All right. So I've been playing Tekken games with the help of this controller. Okay, it has 6 face buttons here, and this D-pad here. This directional button here. It's not really that easy to use, but certainly much easier to use for me than an arcade stick. So you can imagine how much I really enjoy playing Tekken using this controller. Okay, so if if you're someone who would like to play with a controller that has face buttons that could make you feel like you're pressing buttons on an arcade stick or an arcade controller, but you also would want to use directional buttons instead of an arcade stick, then this, I think, is the controller for you, right? And this one, at least in this country, is not really cheap, but not really costly. Yeah, I mean, this one, I think, is much cheaper than a DualShock 4 controller, and certainly much cheaper than a DualShock 5 controller. So this is the Hori Fighting Commander for Nintendo Switch. I'm not getting paid by Hori. I'm not getting paid by Hori. I'm just sharing, you know, my ideas with you because number one, I love this controller, and number two, I'm here to practice my English. That's all. All right, so thank you very much for listening.